Did you know that on your spiritual journey, God has entrusted you with unique revelations? Truths so profound that they were meant only for you? These aren't ordinary insights. They are divine secrets designed to guide and protect you in ways you might not even fully understand yet. But here's the warning. If these sacred truths are shared carelessly with the wrong people, the very foundation of what God has prepared for you could be shaken. Before we dive deeper, if this resonates with your spirit, take a moment to comment 707 below as a declaration of faith. To those who have supported this channel through Super Thanks, we extend our heartfelt gratitude. Your generosity is a true blessing, helping us continue to spread God's light and encouragement to those who need it most. Chosen one, let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced a moment where it felt like unseen forces were working against you? Perhaps opportunities you thought were secure suddenly disappeared, or relationships you trusted became sources of unexpected harm. These aren't random occurrences. There's a deeper spiritual truth at play, a truth tied directly to what you choose to reveal and what you wisely guard. What I am about to share with you is not for the faint-hearted. It is a powerful spiritual key, a gift from God that shields your purpose and secures your destiny. This is not something common. It is not even meant for everyone to understand. But if you've ever felt that certain battles in your life seemed strangely personal, targeted even, you're not imagining things. The struggles you face are often linked to the divine favor over your life, a favor that many envy and few can understand. The secret lies in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. The stakes are high because this wisdom doesn't just shape your life. It protects the very essence of who God created you to be. Stay with me, because what you'll learn here could forever change the way you approach your journey. The secret is not just in what you do or say, but in what you keep within, the sacred confidences that God has entrusted to your heart. These are not mere pieces of information. They are divine treasures meant to guide and protect you. What if the very thing you're sharing is the one thing that's meant to remain hidden? What if your silence could be your greatest shield? So as we step into this revelation together, prepare yourself to see your path in a new light. This message is not for the unprepared. It is for those who are ready to take hold of their calling with wisdom and intention. The secret is profound, and once you grasp it, there is no turning back. Let's uncover this truth together. It might just hold the key to your next victory and the protection of everything God has placed within you. God's chosen one never revealed this secret. It is your greatest protection. When the chosen ones share more than they should or unveil what is sacred to them, an unseen shift often occurs. Have you ever experienced the crushing disappointment of revealing a cherished plan or dream, only to see it unravel shortly after? This is not merely coincidence. Spiritual secrets carry a divine power that, when exposed prematurely, can be misunderstood, misjudged, or even weaponized against you. Silence, contrary to being a sign of weakness, is a mark of profound wisdom. Of profound wisdom. When God imparts something to you, He entrusts you with a fragment of His divine plan, something intricately designed, yet often incomprehensible to others. It's akin to placing a rare, priceless jewel in the hands of someone who cannot recognize its worth. What happens to that jewel? It risks being neglected, tarnished, or even stolen. Consider the biblical story of Joseph, Genesis 37. When Joseph shared his dreams of greatness with his brothers, their response was envy and hostility. Instead of embracing his vision, they conspired against him, selling him into slavery. Although God ultimately used this for good, Joseph's early revelation triggered a storm he was unprepared to face. Could his journey have been less treacherous had he kept those dreams in his heart a little longer? How often do we, like Joseph, invite unnecessary trials by sharing prematurely? Spiritual secrets hold immense power, but only when kept in their rightful place, secure within your heart, and nurtured through your intimate relationship with God. Have you ever shared a personal goal or spiritual insight, only to be met with doubt, envy, or even scorn. Such reactions do more than hurt. They release an energy that can hinder your progress and obstruct God's timing in your life. Not everyone around you is equipped to understand or honor what God has entrusted to you. Why? Because these sacred revelations are tailored to your unique calling, a divine script written exclusively for you. Sharing these spiritual treasures with the wrong audience is like unlocking a door to negative forces that can infiltrate your path. Dreams and plans are akin to seeds, delicately planted by God within the fertile soil of your heart. Just as a seed requires quiet, undisturbed conditions to sprout and flourish, so do your spiritual secrets. Imagine exposing a fragile seed to the elements before it has taken root. It risks being destroyed before its potential can be realized. Are there dreams you've shared that might have needed the protective silence of your heart instead? How might God be calling you to guard these treasures more diligently? In Proverbs 4:23, we are reminded, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Your heart is the sacred chamber where God places His promises and visions. Protecting those treasures doesn't mean you distrust others. It means you honor God's timing and wisdom. After all, if even Jesus told His disciples not to cast their pearls before swine, Matthew 7:6, shouldn't we exercise similar discernment with our own spiritual pearls? When you share too much of what is sacred to you, it is like leaving a vulnerable seed exposed to harsh winds and storms before it has a chance to grow. The beauty of your journey and the value of your purpose may be invisible to many around you. Some, through lack of understanding, and others, perhaps with intentional malice, may unknowingly or purposefully sabotage what you are striving to build. God calls us to exercise caution in what we reveal, ensuring that His divine plan for our lives can unfold without unnecessary disruption. As one of God's chosen ones, you bear a profound spiritual weight that not everyone can comprehend or handle. What God has placed in your life is deep and powerful, yet sharing too much can create openings for opposition and unnecessary spiritual battles. Think of your spiritual secrets as your armor, designed by God to protect you. When you expose too much of this armor, you create gaps that invite attacks, weakening your defenses. The Apostle Paul wrote in Ephesians 6:1 to put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. This armor is not just for battle, it is also a shield for the sacred truths and callings God has entrusted to you. Why then would we willingly lower that shield by revealing too much to those who may not cherish or respect its significance? Your mission is unlike anyone else's, and the secrets God has entrusted to you are part of the unique way He sustains your journey. Have you ever experienced a moment when sharing a deeply personal goal or vision seemed to trigger a series of unexpected obstacles? Imagine telling a friend about a business idea, only to find unexplained resistance or barriers appearing out of nowhere. Or perhaps you've shared a cherished dream with a family member and felt a sudden wave of disbelief or negativity that drained your motivation. These experiences are not random. They reflect a spiritual reality. What is sacred carries a divine power, and exposing it to unprepared or unkind hearts can compromise its potential to flourish. In Matthew 7:6, Jesus warned His followers, "Do not give what is holy to the dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn and tear you in pieces." These words remind us to discern the audience for our revelations. What God has given you is holy, a pearl of great value. Sharing it with those who lack the capacity to honor its worth is not only risky, but also detrimental to your mission. Have you ever paused to consider why certain dreams seem to thrive only when nurtured in silence? God's wisdom often comes through His still small voice, guiding us to guard what is sacred until the right time. What might happen if you began to treat your dreams and plans like treasures that require safekeeping? By keeping these sacred truths protected, you allow God to work in the background, shielding you from unnecessary interference and strengthening your spiritual journey. God, in His infinite wisdom, chooses to reveal His truths to us in deeply personal ways. These revelations often come in moments of stillness, during heartfelt prayer, or in the quiet assurance that He is near. These divine messages are not only meant to guide and strengthen you, but are also entrusted to you with confidentiality. When such sacred insights are shared with someone who is not aligned with your spiritual journey, the risk of losing the connection or doubting the truth of the message increases. This is why not every spiritual revelation is meant to be spoken aloud. Discerning when to share and when to remain silent requires a close, prayerful relationship with God. Reflect on how God communicated with the prophet Elijah in 1 Kings 19:1-12. Elijah expected to hear God's voice in a powerful wind, an earthquake, or a fire, but instead God spoke in a gentle whisper. This illustrates how God often works in subtle ways, entrusting His servants with messages that are quiet yet powerful. Imagine if Elijah had misunderstood or prematurely shared this sacred moment with someone who couldn't grasp its significance. Would it have diminished the impact of the revelation? Before sharing a divine insight, ask yourself, will this person understand or honor what I am about to share? If your heart hesitates, consider keeping it to yourself. Not everyone possesses the spiritual maturity to comprehend or appreciate the depth of what God has revealed to you. Silence in this context is more than a shield. It is an act of reverence. Choosing to protect God's secrets is a way of acknowledging their divine origin and safeguarding their purpose. Keeping a spiritual secret is not an act of fear, but one of profound faith. It demonstrates that your trust in God's timing and plan outweighs your need for validation from others. Think of this as building a fortified wall around the treasures God has placed in your soul. Just as Nehemiah rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem to protect what was sacred, Nehemiah 2:17-18. You are called to safeguard the divine purpose planted in your heart. Have you ever considered that guarding a spiritual secret could be an act of obedience to God? When we choose silence, we create a sacred space where His plans can flourish without interference. What steps can you take today to better discern what should remain between you and God? By honoring His revelations with quiet faith, you align yourself with His wisdom, allowing His purpose to unfold in His perfect timing. Protecting your spiritual secrets is a profound way of nurturing your well-being and honoring the trust God has placed in you. By keeping these revelations guarded, you demonstrate self-respect, acknowledging the unique journey God has designed for you. This act of preservation is also an expression of obedience to God, who calls you to stay focused on your divine purpose, free from unnecessary distractions or interference. The secret God has given you is not merely a gift, it is your shield, your greatest protection. By safeguarding it and treating it with reverence, you open the door for God to lead you unimaginable blessings and opportunities. Consider how often we look outward for protection. We turn to advice from friends, rely on human strategies, or depend on our own physical or mental strength. Yet for God's chosen ones, the most potent form of protection lies within. The secret God has entrusted to you is like a sacred key, known only to you and Him. It is a reflection of your spiritual identity and the purpose He has written on your heart. Why then would you risk exposing this treasure to the world? Just as Jesus withdrew to solitary places to pray and guard His communion with the Father, Luke 5:6, so too must we cultivate silence and discretion to protect the sacred things of God. Silence in this context is not about hiding or retreating in fear. It is about recognizing the value of what you carry and safeguarding it from forces that might seek to diminish or derail it. Have you ever noticed how silence can disarm negativity and strengthen resolve? It is a powerful weapon, one that shields what is precious without the need for confrontation. In Proverbs 21:23, we are reminded whoever keeps his mouth and his tongue keeps himself out of trouble. This wisdom underscores the importance of choosing our words carefully, especially when they pertain to the divine secrets God has placed within us. Your spiritual secret is more than a piece of information. It is a divine strategy tailored specifically for your journey. It carries the weight of God's purpose for your life, making it a target for misunderstanding, envy, or even spiritual opposition. By keeping it guarded, you align yourself with God's protection and His plan. What steps can you take today to honor the trust God has placed in you? Could it be that silence in this season is the key to unlocking your next breakthrough? Trust in the sacredness of the secret and in God's promise to guide you to places beyond your imagination. Have you ever noticed how certain people seem overly curious about your life, asking probing questions or passing judgment? While some may appear well-meaning, their intentions are not always pure. This is why silence becomes more than just a habit. It becomes a divine strategy, a shield of wisdom that protects you from harmful energies and unwarranted criticisms. The Bible, in its timeless wisdom, reminds us of the power of silence, teaching in Proverbs 17:28. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. For the chosen ones, silence is not just about self-preservation. It is an essential aspect of spiritual discernment and protection. Picture your heart as a sacred safe designed by God to hold the precious secrets He has entrusted to you. Like any safe, it can only be opened with the correct combination. The divine treasures stored within dreams, revelations, and spiritual insights are meant to be safeguarded. But have you considered who has access to this sacred space? Are those around you aligned with God's plan for your life? If not, it may be time to re-examine your boundaries and the extent to which you share your inner world. Not all knowledge is meant to be shared, and discernment is key. Think of how Jesus chose to reveal His teachings, why He spoke openly in parables to the crowds. The deeper truths were reserved for His disciples, those He knew could understand and carry His message forward. In Matthew 13:11, Jesus explained, "The knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven has been given to you, but not to them." This shows that even divine wisdom requires careful consideration of the audience. Silence also allows God to work in the unseen. When we speak too freely, we often invite unnecessary complications or opposition into our lives. Have you ever shared something deeply personal only to regret it later because of the reaction you received? Perhaps you felt judged, misunderstood, or even betrayed. These experiences remind us that silence is a tool for both protection and wisdom. By keeping sacred matters between you and God, you create a safe environment for His plans to unfold. Ask yourself, who are the people I allow close to my heart? Do they uplift me and align with God's purpose for my life, or do they bring doubt and distraction? Not everyone needs to know your every move or hear every revelation God has placed in you. Trusting in the value of discretion is not about shutting people out. It's about honoring the sacred relationship you have with God and ensuring His treasures are preserved for the right time and audience. Silence, chosen wisely, can be your most powerful ally. One of the most profound spiritual challenges faced by God's chosen ones is learning to discern what should remain hidden and what can be shared. Before you speak, take a moment to reflect. Does what I am about to say glorify God, or is it driven by my own ego? If it honors God and serves His purpose, then share it boldly. But if it stems from pride or reveals a vulnerability that could be exploited, it may be wiser to keep it between you and God. The Bible often reminds us of the power and consequence of our words. In Proverbs 18:21, it says the tongue has the power of life and death. This is a solemn reminder that the words we release into the world can shape the spiritual battles we face. When you reveal too much, you may unintentionally invite envy or negativity into your life. These external forces can create unnecessary distractions, weaken your faith, and slow your spiritual journey. Have you ever noticed how quickly a moment of joy or inspiration can shift after sharing it with the wrong person? This is no coincidence. Not everyone around you has your best interests at heart, and not everyone is spiritually mature enough to handle the weight of your calling. As a chosen one, consider your spiritual secrets as treasures of immeasurable value. Protect them as you would guard the most precious jewel, knowing that the less you reveal, the less room there is for spiritual attacks. Silence in many instances is not merely a sign of wisdom. It becomes an invisible barrier that shields you from harm. In Psalm 141.3, David prayed this prayer reflects the importance of divine discernment and restraint in speech, especially for those entrusted with sacred purposes. The people around you play a pivotal role in your journey. Some individuals uplift and inspire, encouraging your growth in faith and purpose, while others may sow seeds of doubt and fear. Have you taken the time to examine those within your inner circle? Are they aligned with your spiritual vision, or do they subtly pull you away from God's plan? Surrounding yourself with those who share your values and understand the weight of your calling strengthens your ability to protect what is sacred. Trust is a sacred currency, and not everyone is equipped to handle the truths of your mission. Only those who value and respect your purpose can be trusted to hear even fragments of your calling. Remember the example of Mary, the mother of Jesus, who treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. She understood the importance of keeping sacred revelations close, preserving them in silence until the time was right. Can you imagine the peace and focus you would gain by guarding your own spiritual treasures in this way? Align yourself with those who inspire growth and encourage your walk with God. By doing so, you build a fortress of faith around the divine secrets entrusted to you, ensuring that your mission remains undisturbed and that God's plans can unfold without interference. One of the most powerful and practical ways to protect your spiritual secret is by entrusting it to God through prayer. There is no safer sanctuary for your hopes, fears, and plans than the presence of the Almighty. When you bring these matters to Him, you not only safeguard them, but also open yourself to divine guidance on how, when, and with whom to share them. Prayer strengthens your discernment, and the Holy Spirit, as your unwavering counselor, will faithfully guide you in knowing the moments to speak and the moments to remain silent. Picture this: you are working on a significant project or have just received a profound vision from God. The excitement of this revelation fills your heart, and the temptation to share it with others feels almost overwhelming. Yet wisdom urges you to pause. Consider this: are the people around you capable of understanding and supporting what God has shown you? Often sharing prematurely can expose your vision to criticism or doubt that may derail your focus. Jesus himself taught the value of discretion in Matthew 6:6, saying, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you." This underscores the power of working and praying in secret, trusting God to reveal the fruits of your efforts in His timing. Silence in these moments is not a sign of fear, but of strategy. When Nehemiah set out to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, he kept his plans private until the right moment. In Nehemiah 2:12 he stated, "I had not told anyone what my God had put in my heart to do for Jerusalem." By maintaining secrecy, Nehemiah avoided unnecessary opposition and carried out God's plan effectively. Similarly, when you hold your spiritual secrets close, you shield them from the doubts and negativity of those who may not share your faith or vision. Have you ever faced criticism or skepticism that weakened your resolve? Imagine the peace and focus you could maintain by allowing your plans to grow quietly under God's protection. By keeping them hidden until they are ready to be revealed, you align yourself with God's wisdom and timing. This is not about hiding out of fear, but about honoring the sacred process of preparation. God has promised that what is done in secret will be rewarded openly. Trusting in this principle allows you to focus on the work God has given you without distraction. Can you think of areas in your life where silence might be the key to progress? By surrendering your plans to God in prayer and trusting His timing, you not only protect your spiritual secret, but also position yourself to receive the rewards that only He can provide. Chosen one, recognize that the secret God has placed within you is not only your greatest shield, but also a profound symbol of your dedication to His divine purpose. This secret is more than protection against the adversary. It is a sacred testament to your faith and obedience. By keeping it hidden, you demonstrate trust in God's perfect timing, knowing He will reveal His work in your life when the moment is divinely appointed. In the quietness of your faith, God performs miracles, turning the unseen into the visible, making His glory known through the silence you preserve. This divine secret is no ordinary gift. It is not merely knowledge or information. It is the very core of your calling and purpose. It holds the blueprint of what you were created to accomplish in this world. Choosing to safeguard this secret is an act of profound responsibility, not just for your own protection, but for the fulfillment of the mission God has entrusted to you. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. Revealing something prematurely can disrupt its purpose, as surely as failing to reveal it at all. Are you discerning the timing God has set for the treasures He has given you? The Bible is rich with examples of those who trusted God's timing and guarded what was sacred until the right moment. Consider Mary, the mother of Jesus. After the angel Gabriel revealed her divine purpose, she pondered these things in her heart, keeping them close and trusting God's plan. Luke 2:19. Her silence was not fear, but wisdom, a demonstration of faith that God would unfold His will in His perfect way. How might your journey change if you approached your divine secret with the same quiet confidence? God does not bestow great responsibilities on those unprepared to safeguard them. The secret He has entrusted to you is proof of your worthiness in His eyes. Protecting something so precious requires more than silence. It demands unwavering faith and deep trust in God's plan. When you resist the urge to reveal this secret, you make a powerful declaration that your trust in God is greater than your need for validation or understanding. This act of faith creates a sacred space for His plan to flourish. Even when you cannot yet see the full picture, do you trust God enough to hold on to the unknown, believing He will reveal it at the right time? By guarding the secret, you align yourself with His purpose, showing that you are a vessel ready to carry out His will. As you walk in this obedience, you are not only preserving what is sacred, but you are also paving the way for the miraculous to manifest in ways beyond your imagination. Let this secret remain your shield, your weapon, and your testament to the greatness of the God you serve. We often feel the urge to share our achievements or future plans with those we love, seeking their encouragement or understanding. Yet, it is crucial to remember that not everyone is prepared to embrace or support the divine purpose God has placed in your life. Protecting your secret becomes an act of faith, a declaration that you trust God's sovereignty and timing. You believe that He will reveal what needs to be known at the perfect moment. Prayer is the sacred channel through which you can access divine wisdom, seeking clarity on when to speak and when to remain silent. Before sharing, ask God, Lord, is this the time? Is this the person you have chosen? Sometimes, the silence you hear in response is His way of urging you to guard your secret a little longer. Through prayer, you not only gain discernment, but also fortify your connection with God, enabling you to recognize spiritual traps that may lie ahead. Have you ever shared something deeply personal, only to feel the sting of betrayal or judgment? Perhaps you revealed a cherished dream or a sacred moment in your life, trusting it would be safe, only to discover that the person was unprepared to receive it, or worse, used it against you. These moments are more than painful. They are spiritual lessons designed to teach you the value of discretion. As Jesus taught in Matthew 10:16, "Be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves." This balance of wisdom and purity is vital for protecting what God has entrusted to you. Think of how often the Bible emphasizes the power of restraint in speech. Proverbs 13:3 tells us, "Those who guard their lips preserve their lives, but those who speak rashly will come to ruin." This truth reminds us that even well-intentioned words can lead to unforeseen consequences. By withholding what is sacred, you create a protective boundary around the treasures God has placed in your life. How might your journey shift if you learn to pause, pray, and discern before speaking? The painful experiences of misplaced trust are not meant to break you, but to sharpen your spiritual awareness. Like Joseph, whose dreams were mocked and misunderstood by his own brothers. Genesis 37, you may face betrayal when you share prematurely. Yet, God's purpose for Joseph was not diminished, it was fulfilled in due time. Could it be that God is asking you to nurture your dreams in silence, trusting Him to reveal them at the right time? By protecting your secret, you align yourself with God's wisdom and avoid unnecessary spiritual battles. Let prayer be your constant guide, anchoring you in faith and helping you discern when to speak and when to remain silent. What steps can you take today to ensure that the sacred things in your life are preserved for God's timing? Remember, not everything precious needs to be shared. Sometimes the greatest acts of faith happen in the quiet trust between you and God. Just as a rare and priceless jewel requires special protection, the divine secret God has entrusted to you also demands unique care and vigilance. Loneliness, often misunderstood as a burden, is actually a sacred gift in disguise. It is in these moments of solitude that God speaks to you with unmatched clarity, deepening your intimacy with Him and equipping you for the battles that lie ahead. When you find yourself feeling alone, remember that this is not a sign of abandonment, but of divine separation. God is shielding you from influences that could jeopardize the sacred purpose you carry. Embrace these quiet seasons as opportunities for spiritual growth and a deeper trust in His plan. Your words hold immense power, the power to create or to destroy, to invite blessings or to open doors for spiritual opposition. This is why it is crucial to guard the secret God has given you. By speaking too soon about something He's still working on, you may inadvertently expose your life to impure energies or malicious intentions. The protection of your divine purpose begins with your choice of words. Silence often becomes your strongest shield, a defense that preserves God's work until the moment it is ready to be revealed. Proverbs 21:23. Wisely states, "Those who guard their mouths and their tongues keep themselves from calamity. How much more peace could you maintain by practicing this wisdom in your life? Envy is one of the most insidious forces that can target those carrying a divine purpose. When you share prematurely, you risk drawing envious eyes or even intentional acts of sabotage. This is not about living in fear, but about walking in divine wisdom. Jesus himself instructed his disciples to be shrewd as serpents and innocent as doves. Matthew 10:16. This balance of strategy and purity is key to protecting the sacred calling within you. How might your journey look different if you approached your purpose with this same discernment and shrewdness? Timing is essential in every aspect of life, and the revelation of your secret is no exception. By keeping it concealed for now, you are allowing God to prepare the ground for its perfect unveiling. Imagine a flower blooming out of season. It may be beautiful for a brief moment, but will soon wither because it was not ready. The same principle applies to the secrets God has planted in you. Be patient and trust in His timing. Ecclesiastes 3:11 reminds us, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Could it be that your waiting is part of the process to ensure your purpose flourishes in its fullness? Every betrayal, disappointment, and season of solitude you have endured has been a lesson designed to teach you the value of guarding the sacred. These experiences were not random. They were part of God's divine preparation for you. Each moment of pain and challenge was a tool He used to refine your character and prepare you to protect what is most precious. Reflect on your past with gratitude, recognizing how even the hardest times were woven into His plan to strengthen your faith and determination. How might your perspective shift if you saw every trial as a divine training ground for your destiny? By honoring the lessons of the past, you step confidently into the future, fully equipped to preserve the treasures God has placed in your life. Let me speak directly to your heart. The secret you carry is more than a mission. It is a divine confirmation that you are part of something far greater than yourself, something eternal, something that transcends the limits of this world. This is precisely why you must keep it concealed for now. The enemy cannot disrupt what remains hidden. By guarding this sacred truth, you are not only protecting yourself, but also preserving God's divine purpose for your life. At the appointed time, God Himself will unveil what has been kept in secret. And when that moment arrives, no force in heaven or on earth will be able to stand against His plan. Until that day, commit to praying, trusting, and safeguarding what is most sacred within you. The spiritual journey you are on is both a privilege and a challenge, requiring discernment to protect the treasures God has entrusted to you. Some secrets are more than mere knowledge. They are spiritual keys that unlock the doors to your purpose. Yet, if shared with the wrong person, they can lead to setbacks, opposition, and confusion. Think of the times in the Bible when secrecy played a pivotal role in fulfilling God's plans. For example, when God instructed Moses' mother to hide him in the basket along the Nile, Exodus 2:3. Her discretion ultimately saved his life and set the stage for Israel's deliverance. Similarly, protecting your secret ensures that nothing disrupts the divine path laid out before you. Today, I want to equip you with 3 powerful spiritual tools to help you guard these sacred secrets, fortify your spiritual walk, and protect your divine energy. What I share here could be the turning point between stagnation and the fulfillment of your God-given destiny. So I urge you to listen with an open heart and a willing spirit, but more importantly, take these principles and apply them to your life. Are you ready to take this step and commit to safeguarding what God has placed in you? Remember, this is not just about protecting a secret, it's about securing the foundation of your purpose and ensuring that God's plans for your life unfold in His perfect timing. The first tool is strategic silence. Chosen one, you must remember that not everything requires an explanation. How often have you felt compelled to justify your actions or share a revelation simply because it seemed significant or impressive. Let me remind you, silence is more than the absence of words. It is a powerful form of prayer. When you choose to remain silent in the face of probing questions or doubts, you create a sacred space for God to work behind the scenes, shielding your purpose and preserving your energy. Silence is not a sign of weakness, but an intentional act of strength, allowing you to maintain control over the spiritual treasures entrusted to you. Every word carries power, and speaking without divine guidance can be as dangerous as opening the gates of a fortress without discerning who stands on the other side. Strategic silence is about discernment, knowing when to speak and when to hold back. In the spiritual realm, silence is more than restraint. It is an atmosphere where God moves. The Bible demonstrates the strength of silence in moments of great spiritual significance. When Jesus stood before Pilate, accused and condemned by false witnesses, he chose silence over defense. In Matthew 27:14, it says, "But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor." This silence wasn't weakness, it was divine strategy, allowing the Father's plan of salvation to unfold without interference. Could your silence today serve a similar purpose, giving space for God to work in ways beyond your understanding? Many of the spiritual battles you face originate from misplaced words. The enemy listens carefully to what you declare, searching for gaps to exploit. When you practice strategic silence, you close those gaps and fortify your defenses. Silence is not passive, it is active protection. It shifts the focus from your words to your actions, allowing the fruit of your obedience to testify louder than anything you could say. In Proverbs 17:27-28, we are reminded, "The one who has knowledge uses words with restraint, and whoever has understanding is even-tempered. Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent." This wisdom underscores the profound power of choosing silence. Make this a habit in your daily life. Before responding to a question or sharing something deeply personal, pause and ask yourself, does this glorify God? Does this protect my purpose? If the answer is no, choose silence. In doing so, you align yourself with God's wisdom and create a protective barrier around the divine calling He has placed in you. Let your silence become a prayer, your restraint a testament to your faith, and your discretion a shield for your mission. The second practical tool, the fortress prayer, a shield of protection and a source of wisdom. Chosen one. Your words carry power, but when they are directed to God, they transform into invincible spiritual weapons. Before deciding to share anything, or even considering with whom to share it, take a moment to lift your thoughts to God in prayer. Through this simple yet profound act, you invite His guidance and protection into the situation. A prayer like the one below can become your daily armor. Lord, strengthen my heart and grant me discernment to understand what should be spoken and what must remain hidden. Let my words glorify you alone, and may no divine secret be revealed before its appointed time. Amen. This prayer is more than words, it is a spiritual shield. When prayed with intention, it guards your heart from doubt, shields your mind from confusion, and creates a barrier against those who approach with impure motives. Through prayer, you are not just expressing faith, but actively building a solid foundation for your spiritual life. It is a reminder that God is your protector, the one who opens and closes doors, and the one who chooses when and how to reveal the truths He has entrusted to you. The Bible often underscores the importance of seeking God before making decisions. Proverbs 3:5-6 advises, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This principle applies powerfully to the act of sharing. By praying first, you place God at the center, allowing His wisdom to guide your words and His protection to shield your purpose. Consider how this simple practice can prevent common mistakes, such as trusting someone unworthy of your confidence or exposing yourself unnecessarily. How many times have hasty words or misplaced trust led to regret? Imagine the peace that comes with knowing that every decision has been fortified by prayer. When you make God the gatekeeper of your words, you ensure that His timing and purpose prevail. Never underestimate the power of prayer before any important decision, especially those involving the sacred treasures God has placed within you. Let the fortress prayer become a daily ritual, a source of strength that guards your spiritual journey and aligns your actions with God's will. By doing so, you turn every moment of uncertainty into an opportunity to deepen your trust in Him and His divine plan. The third practical tool, creating a circle of trusted individuals chosen. 1. Not everyone who enters your life has pure intentions. While God places the right people on your path to help you fulfill your purpose, He also permits challenges to strengthen your ability to discern. Building a mental or spiritual list of those who truly deserve to hear your plans and share in your confidences is essential. These individuals are not just companions, they are spiritual allies who will pray for your success, rejoice in your victories without jealousy, stand with you in faith. To identify these trustworthy allies, pay attention to the fruits of their character. As Jesus taught in Luke 16:10, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Observe how these individuals handle small matters. Do they act with integrity and faithfulness? Trust is not easily given. It is earned through consistent behavior. Sometimes, those who appear closest to you may not be the most suitable to guard your spiritual secrets. Watch carefully for the subtle signs. How do they react to your successes? Do they genuinely celebrate your growth? Or do they show hints of envy or competition? Are they genuinely interested in your spiritual journey? Or do they seek opportunities to criticize or discourage you? A true spiritual ally will never compete with you, but will lift you up, pray for your prosperity, and encourage you to stay aligned with God's purpose. If you ever feel uncertain about someone's intentions, turn to prayer. Ask God to reveal what is hidden and to guide you in discerning the hearts of those around you. In James 1:5, we are promised, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." This wisdom will help you guard the divine secrets entrusted to you. Failing to protect your secrets can lead to serious consequences. Words shared carelessly may breed envy, create misunderstandings, or even invite spiritual attacks. The Bible warns us of this danger in Proverbs 11:13. A gossip betrays a confidence, but the trustworthy keep a secret. Choosing the right confidence is not just a matter of preference, it is a spiritual discipline that protects your purpose and strengthens your journey. Take time to reflect on your relationships. Who among those around you consistently uplifts and supports you? Who prays for you without expectation of reward or recognition? These are the people worthy of your trust. By building a circle of genuine, God-ordained allies, you create a safe space to share, grow, and walk confidently in your calling. Protect your secrets wisely, for they are the keys to fulfilling the purpose God has set before you. To advance in your God-given purpose, you must embrace 3 key principles: knowing when to remain silent, praying before taking action, placing your trust only in those who have demonstrated genuine faithfulness. Protecting your secret is not just a practical step, it is an act of safeguarding your divine mission. When you guard the sacred truths entrusted to you, you create a shield around the calling that God has placed upon your life. Applying these tools is simpler than you might think. Begin by practicing strategic silence, resisting the urge to share impulsive thoughts or details about your spiritual journey. Silence, when used wisely, becomes a fortress of protection. Incorporate the fortress prayer into your daily routine, especially before making decisions or taking significant steps. Make it a habit to regularly review your circle of trust, ensuring that only those guided by God have access to the most precious parts of your heart. These small, consistent actions build a spiritual fortress, safeguarding your life from unnecessary battles and distractions. Chosen one, understand this: protecting your secrets is more than a strategy, it is an expression of faith. By guarding what God has revealed to you, you show that you value His purpose for your life above all else. These three tools: strategic silence, the fortress prayer, and a carefully curated circle of trusted people, are your spiritual weapons in the unseen battles you face. As you apply these principles, you will notice a shift in your spiritual journey, finding yourself shielded from forces that seek to derail you. Take a moment to reflect. Have you considered that within you lies something untouchable, something beyond what the physical world can comprehend? This secret is your direct connection to God, a spiritual bridge that strengthens your faith and defines your purpose. It is not meant to be fully understood by the world, which is why it must be fiercely protected. This sacred connection is like a divine flame, burning brightly yet hidden from those who would seek to extinguish or exploit it. In the Bible, Jesus said, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Matthew 6:21. Your secret is not a physical possession, it is a spiritual treasure. It is the very essence of your calling, the foundation of your destiny, and the unshakable strength that carries you through life's storms. Guarding this treasure means honoring the sacred bond you share with God, allowing it to grow and flourish under His care. Imagine this divine flame within you, glowing with intensity yet shielded from the curious, the critics, and those who might seek to discredit your journey. By protecting this flame, you allow God to work in His perfect timing, revealing His purpose when it is ready to shine for His glory. What steps can you take today to honor and protect this treasure within you? Trust that as you safeguard your secrets, God will strengthen and guide you every step of the way, ensuring that your divine purpose remains intact and unstoppable. This secret you carry cannot be bought, sold, or given away. It is sacred and must be protected in the safest place, your heart. Just as a secure safeguards rare jewels, you are called to safeguard your divine connection with the same vigilance. The Word of God warns us in Matthew 6:19-20. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. This means your spiritual connection, your sacred secret, must be protected from spiritual thieves, those forces or individuals that seek to rob you of your peace, faith, and trust in God's purpose. When you guard this secret, it becomes a fortress, shielding you from the forces that aim to derail your journey. The essence of this secret is your unshakable faith, the unwavering belief in God's promises, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. It is the inner conviction that your life carries a specific divine purpose, even in the face of a world that may try to sow doubt. This faith is not meant for everyone to see or understand. When you hold it close, allowing it to grow in silence, it strengthens and becomes a formidable shield against doubts, negativity, and spiritual attacks. Keeping this faith hidden does not weaken it, it fortifies it. In the stillness of your heart, it grows, becoming a guiding light in the darkest of paths. Have you ever experienced a moment when your faith seemed like the only thing keeping you moving forward, even as everything around you felt uncertain or broken? That is the power of a protected faith, a beacon of hope that cannot be extinguished. Not everyone around you is capable of understanding the depth of what God is doing in your life. Some may belittle your journey, seek to distract you, or even try to destroy the sacred work God is building within you. Sharing your faith indiscriminately with those who cannot appreciate its essence exposes it to unnecessary attacks. This is why protecting your secret is not about hiding the truth, but about preserving it from those who are not ready to receive it. Mary's wisdom, a lesson in guarding divine revelations. Mary, the mother of Jesus, offers a powerful example of this wisdom. After the shepherds shared their divine encounter with the angels, Mary did not rush to tell everyone. Instead, she treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Luke 2:19. Mary understood that some revelations are meant to be kept sacred, meditated upon, and nurtured in intimacy with God. She did this not out of fear, but out of reverence, recognizing the weight and holiness of what had been revealed to her. Chosen one, you too are called to protect your sacred treasures. The act of keeping your secret is not only wise, but deeply reverent. It acknowledges that some truths are too precious to be exposed prematurely. It allows God to mature His plans within you and to reveal them at the perfect time. By safeguarding your faith and divine connection, you demonstrate your trust in His timing and your commitment to His purpose. Can you imagine the peace and strength that come from keeping your faith protected, allowing it to grow unshaken by the world's chaos? Just as Mary honored the sacred revelations given to her, let your reverence for what God has entrusted to you guide your actions. Protect your secret, nurture your faith, trust that in God's perfect time, His glory will be revealed through you. Your secret, the foundation of your mission. Your secret is the unseen strength that equips you to fulfill your divine purpose. Many wonder how you manage to endure trials, rise above challenges, and continue forward with unwavering resolve. What they fail to see is that your power comes from something hidden, a connection with God that is deeply rooted. Like the unseen roots of a tree, though invisible, these roots sustain and nourish you, allowing you to stand firm and flourish, even in the harshest storms. By guarding this sacred connection, you fortify your greatest strength, enabling you to thrive where others falter. God has woven power into silence. The secret you keep is not only a shield, but a divine strategy designed for your protection and growth. When you preserve your faith and spiritual connection within the sanctuary of your heart, those who seek to understand or disrupt it find no point of entry. You become like a fortified city, unshakable and impenetrable. This guarded mystery is a beauty that only you and God share, a sacred bond that the world cannot comprehend or unravel. Chosen one, keeping this secret goes beyond personal protection. It is an act of reverence and honor for the calling God has placed on your life. By choosing to keep your faith and spiritual connection away from the scrutiny and opinions of others, you demonstrate a profound trust in God's plan. This decision declares your understanding of the magnitude of your purpose and your willingness to protect it at all costs. Just as Nehemiah rebuilt Jerusalem's walls to secure what was sacred, Nehemiah 2:17-18, you are called to build a spiritual wall around your divine mission, your greatest safeguard. What truly matters is your recognition that this secret is your greatest safeguard and your key to staying aligned with God's purpose. Guarding it is not about hiding in fear, but about preserving something precious with wisdom. In Proverbs 4:23, the Bible advises, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Your heart, the safe for this secret, is the source of your strength and alignment with God's will. Protecting it ensures that you remain on the path He has laid out for you. When you keep this secret, you position yourself to become unshakable, impenetrable, fully prepared for the future God has designed for you. The danger of premature revelations. Revelations shared prematurely are vulnerable to destruction, but those nurtured and guarded with wisdom transform into eternal strengths. Consider Mary, the mother of Jesus, who kept divine revelations close to her heart, treasuring them in silence. Luke 2:19. Her wisdom and patience allowed God's plan to unfold at the perfect time, undisturbed by external forces. How might your journey change if you adopted the same reverence and discipline? By preserving this sacred secret, you honor God and protect the destiny He has entrusted to you. Every moment of silence, every act of discernment, and every prayer strengthens the foundation of your mission. What is revealed too soon risks being lost. What is revealed too soon risks being lost. But what is safeguarded with wisdom endures forever. In this way you glorify God, uphold your divine calling, advance with confidence toward the purpose He has prepared for you. The power of keeping certain things hidden. As we close this message, let us reflect on the importance of keeping certain things hidden in your heart. Not everything is meant to be shared, even with those closest to you. Some secrets carry the weight of your divine mission, and revealing them prematurely or to the wrong people could hinder God's plan for your life. Remember, the Bible tells us in Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guarding these sacred truths is an act of faith and trust in God, allowing Him to protect and guide you on the path He has ordained. Silence is not weakness. It is wisdom. To all of God's chosen ones listening today, know that keeping silent about certain matters is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is an acknowledgement that God's hand is upon you and His ways are higher than ours. By maintaining discretion, you open the door for His blessings. Ensure that no weapon formed against you will prosper. The world may not understand your silence, but your Father in heaven sees your obedience and will reward you in due time. Support our mission. If this message has inspired or blessed you, we humbly invite you to support our work through a super thanks. Your donations allow us to continue spreading God's word and reaching hearts across the globe. For those who can give, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. For those who cannot, your prayers, likes, and shares are a blessing to us in ways words cannot express. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, share it with others who may need this message of encouragement and wisdom. Your engagement helps this community grow and allows us to touch more lives with the light of Christ. We want to hear from you. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What part of today's message spoke to you the most? As you go about your day, may God cover you with His grace, strengthen you in your journey, fill your life with His peace. You are deeply loved, and we thank you for being a part of this family. Stay tuned for more messages of hope and inspiration. Until next time, may God bless you richly in all you do. Stay blessed and favored.